Every morning, millions of people wake up feeling stuck. They hit snooze, scroll their phones, and drift through another day, hoping that somehow something will change. But here's the brutal truth. It won't. Life doesn't reward hope. Life rewards action. Life rewards those who decide not to leave their destiny to chance. Every second you waste without a plan is a second you'll never get back. And the worst part? You already know it. Deep inside, you feel the frustration, the nagging sense that you could be doing more, being more, achieving more. That feeling gnaws at you because it's not random. It's truth whispering in your ear. You have dreams, big ones, life-changing ones. Yet without a plan, dreams remain dreams. Potential remains potential. Days pass, years pass, and suddenly you realize that the life you imagined never arrived. Not because you couldn't achieve it, but because you didn't take control of it. Imagine this. Two people start with the same abilities, the same time, and the same opportunities. One has a plan, the other doesn't. By the end of the year, the first person has made measurable progress, building momentum, confidence, and clarity. The second person, they're still stuck, wondering why life isn't moving, blaming luck, circumstances, or lack of talent. The difference isn't intelligence. It isn't motivation. It's planning. The power to design your day, your week, your life, and then execute relentlessly is the single most underrated skill in the world. And the good news? It's not complicated. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to be rich or talented beyond measure. You just need a system. A simple, daily system that guarantees progress. Because here's the secret most people never learn. Success isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in small, intentional steps taken consistently. It's the person who writes down their goal in the morning and takes action that day. It's the one who prioritizes, schedules, executes, reflects, and improves tomorrow. That's how empires are built. That's how careers are launched. That's how ordinary people transform into extraordinary achievers. Motivation alone is a spark, but a plan? A plan is a flame that keeps burning day after day until the impossible becomes inevitable. Right now, you have a choice. You can drift through another day with no direction, no system, no progress, or you can start today. You can take control. You can write your plan. You can follow a system that moves you forward even when you don't feel like it. Because here's the truth. No plan means no success. But the right plan, executed consistently, guarantees progress. Every step counts. Every decision matters. Every day is a chance to build the life you've always imagined. And it all begins with one choice, one plan, one day. The question is simple. Will you drift through life, or will you take the wheel and start moving toward the life you deserve. The choice to take the wheel, to seize command of your destiny, begins with a brutal, unflinching confrontation with the reality of unplanned living. Let's face it, most people fail, not because they aren't capable, but because they have no plan. Think about it. How many times have you watched someone with raw talent who seemed destined for greatness simply fizzle out? The reason isn't a lack of skill, it's a lack of direction. Without a plan, every action becomes random, every decision reactive, and every day a desperate battle against chaos. Life, in its simplest form, rewards preparation. Every successful entrepreneur, every athlete on the court, every artist who sells out a major venue, they all understand one fundamental truth. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's a cliché for a reason, because it's absolutely true. You see, the greatest deception of our modern era isn't some complex conspiracy. It's the subtle, insidious myth that you can simply go with the flow and still build a life of consequence. It's the seductive whisper that spontaneity trumps structure, that raw talent negates the need for meticulous preparation, or that simply having a dream is enough to manifest it. This is not just naive. It is a profound misunderstanding of how reality, ambition, and sustained achievement truly operate. Your life isn't just unfolding around you. It is being unintentionally designed by default. Every moment you fail to consciously architect, every decision you allow to be made by circumstance, is a brick laid in a structure you never intended to build. We're here to fundamentally dismantle that fallacy, to rip apart the common assumptions about planning, and to present a truth so potent it will redefine your relationship with your future. This isn't about just being organized. This is about reclaiming the very sovereignty of your existence. Imagine waking up with the vague idea that you want to be successful. You spend the day answering emails, scrolling social media, and reacting to whatever life throws at you. By evening, you feel exhausted, yet no real progress has been made. Compare that to someone who wakes up with a clear plan. They know their main goal for the day. They schedule time for deep work, and they tackle the tasks that truly move the needle. One day of planning doesn't seem like much, but repeated consistently, it compounds into months of measurable progress. It's the same principle elite athletes use in their training. They don't just hope to get better. Every practice, every drill, every shot is deliberate. The difference between a rookie who never makes it past the bench and a star who dominates the league isn't just talent. It's the plan behind the action. Without planning, the mind wanders. Distractions take over. Social media notifications, text messages, urgent yet unimportant tasks, they all hijack your focus. And suddenly, the day is gone, and you've accomplished nothing. This is why the majority of people feel frustrated or stuck. They aren't inherently lazy. They are planless. There's a quiet hum in the heart of every person, a subtle vibration of what could be. It's the whisper of a dream you carry, perhaps tucked away, perhaps loudly proclaimed, but always present. For many, that whisper remains just that, a soft echo, never quite breaking through the static of daily life to become a resounding reality. You feel it, don't you? That gnawing sensation, the subtle ache of potential unfulfilled, the longing for a life that feels more yours, more intentional, more impactful. It's the silent frustration of waking up day after day, busy, perhaps even exhausted, yet feeling like you're running on a treadmill, expending immense energy, but not truly moving forward. This isn't just about success in a traditional sense. It's about the profound human need to create, to achieve, to transform, and to experience the deep, abiding satisfaction that comes from seeing your vision coalesce into tangible form. But without a compass, without a map, how can one navigate the tumultuous seas of ambition? The illusion of busyness is a dangerous trap, a comfort blanket woven from urgent but ultimately unimportant tasks. We wear it like a badge of honor, constantly juggling, responding, reacting, mistaking motion for progress. Think about the emotional toll this takes, the frayed nerves, the scattered focus, the sense of being perpetually behind, always chasing, never quite catching up. Think about the emotional toll this takes, the frayed nerves, the scattered focus, the sense of being perpetually behind, always chasing, never quite catching up. It's a life lived in a state of constant reaction, dictated by external demands rather than internal desires. This isn't just inefficient, it's emotionally draining. It siphons away your creative energy, dulls your ambition, and leaves you feeling hollow despite the frantic pace. The deep satisfaction, the profound joy of genuine accomplishment comes not from the volume of tasks completed, but from the strategic alignment of those tasks with a larger purpose. It's the difference between a ship tossed aimlessly by every wave and a vessel, perhaps encountering storms, but always holding a steady course towards a predetermined harbor. The former inspires anxiety. The latter, a sense of control and serene determination. The emotional cost of living without a plan, without that daily commitment to your future self, is immense. It's the anxiety that bubbles up as deadlines loom, the stress of last-minute scrambles, the crushing weight of missed opportunities. It's the erosion of self-belief that happens subtly, day by day, as promises made to oneself are quietly broken. Every dream deferred, every aspiration left unaddressed, casts a small shadow on your spirit. You begin to question your capabilities, your resolve, your very worthiness of achieving greatness. That insidious myth that you can simply go with the flow is perhaps the greatest mental hurdle. In contrast, The people who consistently achieve their dreams have mastered the art of turning vision into action. They wake up each morning with clarity. They prioritize ruthlessly, and they execute relentlessly. Their lives don't happen by accident. They happen by design. This transformation begins with understanding the profound power of small daily goals. Success doesn't come from massive leaps. It comes from small, deliberate steps taken consistently. Think about it like building a skyscraper in a bustling city like New York. No one starts by placing the top floor first. Every beam, every brick, every bolt matters. Each day contributes to the structure that eventually towers above the skyline. The same principle applies to your life. Many dream big. They want to start a business, write a book, run a marathon. But without breaking those dreams into daily, actionable steps, they never get off the ground. They wake up inspired, but by the end of the day, they're exhausted and haven't moved closer to their goal. That's because they're thinking too far ahead and forgetting that the journey to extraordinary results is built in small, intentional actions. The illusion that monumental achievements are solely born from an innate spark of genius, a flash of serendipitous inspiration, or an unquantifiable talent is perhaps the most dangerous myth circulating in the pursuit of success. It's a narrative that absolves many from the rigorous, often mundane, yet utterly essential work of deliberate planning and consistent execution. As a business strategist, I've seen firsthand, time and again, that the chasm between aspiration and accomplishment is bridged not by wishes, but by a meticulously constructed daily strategy. Without a tangible, actionable plan, even the most vivid dreams remain ephemeral, wisps of potential dissolving into the ether of inaction. The undeniable truth, underscored by mountains of evidence from the pinnacles of human endeavor, is that your life doesn't merely change when you want it to. It transforms when you plan for it to. Let's dismantle this myth of spontaneous success. Consider any significant structure, be it a monumental skyscraper piercing the clouds, or an intricate bridge spanning a vast chasm. Would any rational architect or engineer propose commencing construction without an exhaustive blueprint, a detailed schemata outlining every beam, every rivet, every load-bearing calculation? The idea is preposterous. Yet, when it comes to the edifice of our own lives, our careers, our personal transformations, we often approach it with a casualness that borders on negligence. Yet, when it comes to the edifice of our own lives, our careers, our personal transformations, we often approach it with a casualness that borders on negligence. We drift, hoping that sheer desire, vague ambition, or a sudden burst of motivation will somehow guide us to our desired destination. This is not strategy. It is wishful thinking,
And wishful thinking, I assure you, is a notoriously poor foundation for any enduring success.
The truth is, every single grand accomplishment, every profound shift, every seemingly overnight triumph is the direct cumulative result of countless, deliberate, often unglamorous, and consistently executed smaller steps. These steps are not random. They are components of a larger, overarching plan. They are the daily decisions, the hourly commitments, the minute-by-minute focus that, when strung together over time, weave the tapestry of extraordinary achievement. The chasm between an ambitious dream and its tangible manifestation is bridged not by a leap of faith, but by a meticulously engineered sequence of planned actions. Hope is an emotion. Strategy is an algorithm. To truly transform, you must replace the former with the latter. The foundational unit of this transformation is the daily blueprint. We often gaze at our monumental goals, building a thriving business, mastering a complex skill, achieving peak physical fitness, writing a seminal work, and feel overwhelmed. The sheer scale can paralyze. This is where the profound power of micro-planning reveals itself. A skyscraper isn't built in a day, but a brick is laid. A symphony isn't composed in a single burst of genius, but a note is painstakingly refined. Your biggest aspirations become manageable, even inevitable, when broken down into small, consistent, actionable steps that can be tackled within the confines of a single day. This isn't just about breaking down tasks. It's about understanding the compounding effect of consistent, deliberate action. Imagine placing a single, perfectly aimed brick every day. After a year, you wouldn't have a skyscraper, but you would certainly have a formidable structure, far beyond what sporadic, uncoordinated effort could ever yield. This principle is elegantly simple, yet brutally effective. So, how do we craft this daily blueprint? The first strategic imperative is ruthless prioritization. In a world inundated with demands on our attention, where every notification clamors for immediate engagement, the ability to discern the truly critical from the merely urgent is a superpower. We must adopt the mindset of a seasoned general, allocating our finite resources, time, energy, mental bandwidth, to the battles that genuinely move the needle. This often means embracing the wisdom of the 80-20 principle, identifying the 20% of activities that will yield 80% of our desired results. This often means embracing the wisdom of the 80-20 principle, identifying the 20% of activities that will yield 80% of our desired results. Ask yourself, of all the things I could do today, what is the single most important task that, if completed, would make everything else easier or unnecessary, or move me closest to my long-term objective? This is the non-negotiable keystone task, the one that anchors your entire day.
Everything else, no matter how appealing or seemingly pressing, must be viewed through the lens of its contribution to this primary objective. If it doesn't align, it either gets deferred, delegated, or, most powerfully, eliminated. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most with unwavering focus. The most profound shift in understanding planning comes when we realize that it's not primarily about achieving grand outcomes. It's about mastering the process. The obsession with the mountain peak often blinds us to the daily, arduous, and utterly essential journey of climbing. The outcome, whether it's building a billion-dollar company, mastering a complex skill, or achieving peak physical condition, is merely a byproduct of a meticulously engineered daily process. We often chase the glamour of the vision, but true mastery lies in the relentless dedication to the mundane, to the repeatable, to the often unseen daily tasks that build cumulative advantage. Your plan isn't a magic wand to instantly deliver results. It's the blueprint for the daily actions that transform you into the kind of individual who can achieve those results. The goal isn't just to reach the mountain peak. It's to forge yourself into someone who possesses the resilience, the skill, and the discipline to climb any mountain. The daily plan is the crucible in which you are reforged. It forces consistent engagement, provides immediate feedback, and through incremental wins, builds the psychological fortitude necessary for long-term endurance. Once you've identified your high-impact tasks, the next critical step is time blocking. This is more than just putting appointments in your calendar. It's about proactively carving out dedicated, uninterrupted blocks of time for your most important work, and then fiercely guarding those blocks. Think of your schedule not as a fluid suggestion, but as an impenetrable fortress for your strategic endeavors. For instance, if deep analytical work or creative output is your priority, schedule a 2-hour block first thing in the morning. Close all unnecessary tabs, silence your phone, and dive in. Treat this time with the sanctity you would an urgent client meeting or a critical surgical procedure. This deliberate act of scheduling transforms vague intentions into concrete commitments, shielding your productive hours from the incessant barrage of trivial interruptions and the insidious creep of procrastination. It signals to yourself and to the world that your strategic priorities are non-negotiable. It is the practical application of valuing your time as your most precious, finite asset. Beyond individual strategies, the truly transformative power lies in implementing a daily system, a sequence of rituals and routines that become the invisible architecture of your success. This is where discipline transcends mere willpower and becomes an ingrained habit. Consider the morning routine of many high achievers. Rising early, engaging in physical activity, mindful reflection, strategic planning for the day ahead. These aren't random acts. They are meticulously engineered sequences designed to prime their minds and bodies for peak performance. A robust daily system extends beyond the morning. It encompasses how you transition between tasks, how you manage breaks, how you review progress, and how you prepare for the next day. It's about designing your environment and your default behaviors such that the path of least resistance is the path of progress. When your system is strong, you no longer rely on sporadic bursts of motivation. Instead, you operate on a bedrock of consistent, predictable productivity. When your system is strong, you no longer rely on sporadic bursts of motivation. Instead, you operate on a bedrock of consistent, predictable productivity. This systematic approach is what transforms potential into sustained, compounding reality. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the mindset. Many believe that motivation is the fuel for success. While motivation can provide an initial spark, it is a fickle and fleeting ally. True, enduring achievement is not powered by motivation. It is sustained by unwavering discipline, born from a growth-oriented mindset. This means seeing challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for learning and refinement. When a plan encounters an unexpected roadblock, the growth mindset doesn't capitulate. It adapts, it iterates, it seeks new solutions. It understands that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a vital component of the journey toward it. This resilience, this commitment to continuous improvement, is what allows you to measure your progress, confront uncomfortable truths about what's working and what isn't, and then courageously adjust your course. A plan is not a rigid decree. It is a living document, a compass that guides you, but one you must constantly calibrate based on new information and feedback. This constant loop of planning, execution, measurement, and adjustment is the very essence of strategic thinking in action. We often hear about the importance of knowing your why, your overarching purpose. While crucial, another powerful insight is that purpose without process is merely wishful thinking. Your why provides the direction, but your what, the daily plan, provides the traction. It's the difference between having a map and having a mode of transportation. Many people know their destination, but have no vehicle, or worse, a vehicle without gas. Here's an analogy that resonates with my business strategist perspective. A compelling business vision, the why, is absolutely essential. But without an operational plan, a marketing strategy, a sales process, and daily execution, the what, that vision remains a beautiful slide deck, not a thriving enterprise. The most potent, thought-provoking question then becomes, how many of your most cherished aspirations are currently languishing, not because of a deficit in vision, but because you haven't yet committed to architecting the strategic daily processes required to bring them to life? Are you merely a visionary or an executor of that vision? Consider the pantheon of individuals who have redefined what's possible, and you'll find a common thread, an almost fanatical dedication to planning and daily execution. Take Elon Musk, for instance. He is not just a visionary, he's a relentless executor. His grand, seemingly impossible goals, colonizing Mars, revolutionizing transportation and energy, are broken down into incredibly detailed, often daily, engineering problems and production targets. His entire operational philosophy at companies like SpaceX and Tesla is predicated on setting ambitious deadlines, identifying critical path dependencies, and then systematically working backward to determine the daily and weekly tasks required to meet those objectives. He doesn't just dream of rockets. He meticulously plans the iterative development, the testing cycles, the supply chain logistics, and the daily engineering sprints that make those rockets fly. The sheer cadence of SpaceX launches, escalating from a handful a year to dozens in recent times, is not accidental. It is the outcome of an iterated, refined, and ruthlessly executed daily and weekly launch schedule, involving thousands of micro-decisions and constant adjustments, all driven by an overarching strategic plan to colonize Mars. His aggressive targets, often deemed impossible by skeptics, are not mere bravado. They are the planned checkpoints in a colossal, long-term strategic game, broken down into annual, quarterly, and daily tasks that dictate the lives of his organizations. Look at Serena Williams, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Her dominance isn't merely a function of natural athleticism. It's the result of an incredibly rigorous, planned training regimen that encompasses physical conditioning, tactical strategy, nutritional discipline, and mental preparation. Every practice session is not just hitting balls. It's a deliberate execution of specific drills designed to improve a particular shot, enhance footwork, or simulate match conditions. Her match day preparation is equally meticulous, involving scouting opponents, reviewing game film, and developing a specific plan for each serve, each return, each point. Her legendary resilience on the court is a testament to the thousands of hours of planned, disciplined effort that precede every championship point. Her longevity and dominance in a physically brutal sport are not solely attributable to her powerful serve or formidable forehand. They are the result of a meticulously planned training regimen, a calculated approach to diet and recovery, and an unparalleled ability to strategize for each opponent and each match. Her coaches and team meticulously analyze opponents' weaknesses, crafting bespoke game plans for every tournament. Her daily routine involves not just hitting balls, but also specific strength and conditioning exercises, mental preparation techniques, and a disciplined focus on nutrition and rest. Every element specifically planned to optimize performance and prevent injury. The pursuit of Grand Slam titles is a multi-year, multi-tournament strategic endeavor, broken down into daily practice goals, recovery schedules, and match-day tactical blueprints. Her ability to adapt her game over 2 decades of professional tennis is a testament to continuous planning, evaluation, and strategic adjustment, rather than simply relying on past successes or innate ability. Then there's Jeff Bezos, who built Amazon into an e-commerce giant and cloud computing powerhouse. His strategic brilliance is often articulated through concepts like Day One, a philosophy of treating every day as if it's the very beginning, demanding constant innovation, relentless customer obsession, and meticulous execution. This isn't a vague sentiment. It translates into daily operational plans, weekly metrics reviews, and long-term strategic roadmaps that are constantly iterated upon. Every innovation, from one-click ordering to Amazon Web Services, was the result of a deliberate planning process, broken down into manageable phases, each with its own set of objectives and daily tasks for teams to execute. He emphasizes written plans and detailed execution, ensuring that ideas are not just discussed, but systematically brought to fruition. Bezos is legendary for his Day One philosophy, an ethos that emphasizes relentless innovation, customer obsession, and a future-oriented perspective, always operating as if the company were still a startup, hungry and planning for growth. This wasn't achieved through spontaneous breakthroughs, but through an almost fanatical dedication to long-term strategic planning, often looking 5, 7, or even 10 years ahead. His famous working backwards strategy is a prime example of rigorous planning, starting with the desired customer experience and then meticulously outlining every step, every technology, and every resource required to achieve it. This involves writing a press release for a future product years before development even begins, thereby forcing teams to plan the end-user benefit and the necessary execution steps from the outset. Amazon's pioneering investment in AWS, years before cloud computing became mainstream, was not a gamble. It was a deeply strategic, long-term plan to leverage their internal infrastructure into a new, massive revenue stream. The growth, diversification, and sheer operational efficiency of Amazon, from its fulfillment centers to its supply chain logistics, are irrefutable evidence of a corporate culture built entirely on foresight, meticulous daily planning, and systematic execution. And, of course, Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player ever. His talent was undeniable, but his work ethic and dedication to daily improvement were legendary. He didn't just show up to games. He showed up to practice every single day with an unwavering commitment to perfecting his craft. His daily routine involved specific drills to enhance his shooting, his defense, his footwork, often staying long after his teammates had left. He analyzed opponents, studied game film, and mentally rehearsed scenarios, meticulously planning his approach to every game. His famous flu game wasn't just a display of sheer will. It was the culmination of years of disciplined physical and mental preparation that allowed him to perform at an elite level even under extreme duress. The unparalleled legacy of Michael Jordan in basketball is often romanticized as pure, unadulterated talent. While his talent was undeniable, his true advantage lay in his relentless work ethic and his meticulous approach to preparation and improvement. Jordan famously outworked everyone, not randomly, but with a highly structured and disciplined plan. His daily practice routine was legendary, focusing on mastering fundamentals, perfecting specific shots, and understanding every nuance of his opponent's games. He wasn't just showing up. He was executing a daily plan designed to incrementally improve every aspect of his performance. Stories abound of him planning to deliberately add new moves to his repertoire each season, or spending countless hours dissecting game tapes to identify weaknesses in his own play and his adversaries. Even after achieving superstardom, his commitment to this daily, strategic improvement never wavered. His unparalleled drive and championship victories were not strokes of luck, but the inevitable harvest of an unwavering commitment to a planned process of self-improvement and execution, day in and day out, year after year. These individuals don't succeed because they are lucky or gifted. They succeed because they are strategic, disciplined, and relentlessly committed to their daily plans. The consequences of inaction, of foregoing this strategic imperative, are profound and far-reaching. Without a plan, you become a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave, drifting aimlessly with the currents of circumstance. Your potential, no matter how vast, remains precisely that, potential. It's like having a blueprint for a magnificent mansion, but never laying the first brick. You'll find yourself perpetually stuck in the someday trap, constantly deferring your dreams to an elusive future that never quite arrives. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll write that book. But someday is not a day on the calendar. Without a concrete plan, without the specific daily actions delineated and committed to, someday merely translates to never. The cost is not just missed opportunities. It is the insidious erosion of self-belief, the quiet resignation to a life less lived, a trajectory dictated by default rather than deliberate design. The most profound shift in understanding planning comes when we realize that it's not primarily about achieving grand outcomes. It's about mastering the process. The obsession with the mountain peak often blinds us to the daily, arduous, and utterly essential journey of climbing. The outcome, whether it's building a billion-dollar company, mastering a complex skill, or achieving peak physical condition, is merely a byproduct of a meticulously engineered daily process.
We often chase the glamour of the vision, but true mastery lies in the relentless dedication to the mundane, to the repeatable, to the often unseen daily tasks that build cumulative advantage. Your plan isn't a magic wand to instantly deliver results. It's the blueprint for the daily actions that transform you into the kind of individual who can achieve those results.
The goal isn't just to reach the mountain peak. It's to forge yourself into someone who possesses the resilience, the skill, and the discipline to climb any mountain. The daily plan is the crucible in which you are reforged. It forces consistent engagement, provides immediate feedback, and through incremental wins, builds the psychological fortitude necessary for long-term endurance.
Therefore, the message is clear, urgent, and undeniably powerful. Your ability to transform your life, to truly manifest your deepest desires, hinges entirely on your commitment to consistent, deliberate planning and action. This isn't about being rigid or inflexible. It's about being intentional.
It's about taking ownership of your trajectory, recognizing that every single day presents an opportunity to lay another brick, to take another step, to move closer to the future you envision. The power to create, to innovate, to achieve, to become the person you aspire to be is not a privilege reserved for a select few. It is an accessible power, waiting to be unlocked by the simple yet profound act of crafting a plan, committing to it daily, and adjusting it wisely. Embrace this strategic mindset. Understand that planning is not merely a task. It is the ultimate equalizer, the differentiator between dreamers and doers. It is the algorithm that translates intention into impact. It is the blueprint for your extraordinary life.
So, the grand paradigm shift is this. Planning is not merely a tool for organization. It is the ultimate act of self-sovereignty. It is the conscious, deliberate choice to refuse to be a passenger in your own life, but rather to become its architect, its engineer, its relentless designer. By embracing the radical notions of liberation through constraint, starting with ruthless elimination, prioritizing micro-commitments, mastering the process, architecting your time, and perpetually iterating, you reclaim your agency. You transform from someone whose life happens to them into someone who makes their life happen. You stop waiting for motivation to strike, and instead build the systems that generate it. You stop hoping for success and start systematically creating it. This isn't just about achieving more. It's about being more intentional, more powerful, more free, and ultimately more profoundly alive. This is the truth that separates those who merely dream from those who dare to design their destiny. So, how do you start designing your destiny today? Here's your actionable summary, your blueprint for transformation.
1. Confront the brutal truth. Stop lying to yourself. Acknowledge where you're drifting, where your dreams are suffocating due to lack of planning. This isn't about blame. It's about honest assessment. Ruthlessly eliminate first. Before you add anything, identify the energy sinks, the time vampires, the non-essential commitments, and the mental clutter that are sabotaging your future. What can you say no to, defer, or delegate today? This is the ultimate act of liberation. Identify your 1-3 keystone tasks. For today and every day forward, ask yourself, what are the absolute, non-negotiable minimum actions that will move the needle closest to your long-term objective? Focus on these few high-leverage micro-commitments. 4. Architect your time. Don't just manage time, design it. Use time blocking to proactively carve out dedicated, uninterrupted blocks for your most important work. Treat these blocks as sacred appointments. This is your mise en place for peak performance. 5. Build your daily system. Develop rituals and routines. Your morning routine, how you transition between tasks, how you manage breaks, how you review progress. Make the path of least resistance the path of progress. 6. Embrace iteration. Your plan is not static. It's a living, dynamic hypothesis. Execute, measure your progress ruthlessly, and then adjust based on what's working and what isn't. View setbacks as data points, not defeats. The choice is yours, and it is an emotional one. Will you allow the whispers of your dreams to fade into the background, drowned out by the noise of an unplanned existence? Or will you make the immediate, courageous decision to begin charting your course today? This isn't a conversation about someday or eventually. This is about the urgency of now. The moment you choose to plan, you choose to reclaim your power, to honor your potential, and to embark on the most transformative journey of your life. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Create the system that generates it. Don't let your dreams stand a chance against the onslaught of distraction. Give them the framework, the structure, the unwavering support of a daily plan. It is time to move beyond aspiration and into execution. It is time to transform that quiet hum of potential into a resounding symphony of achievement. If this message resonated with you, if it sparked a flicker of recognition for the planner you know you can be, then hit that like button. Subscribe to English with Rambo for more strategies on how to not just work hard, but work smart and truly own your destiny. And in the comments below, tell me, what is the one keystone task you will plan and execute today to move closer to your biggest dream? Share your commitment, because accountability amplifies intention. Next time, we're going to dive even deeper into overcoming the specific mental blocks that sabotage our best planning efforts. You won't want to miss how to master the art of persuasion for your own success.